Well, as I said last night, I threatened to buy a new one, so I did. I've got a Starrett one, but it's actually made in the UK. Starrett's American. Usually pretty good stuff. So, I think it's 2mm bigger. I have 102. I think the other ones were 100. I should cut a bit faster, I think. As it's on its maiden white, so to speak. Well, it's Friday the 13th yet again today. Nearly had a bit of a bang in the lorry. I was on a dual carriageway roundabout, and the numpty beside me decided it would be fun to just cut right in front of me, rather than going into his own lane. I think he heard my horn. Should have. Right, we'll try with these clamps first, see what happens. A bit of cutting on. I'm still running at the slow speed of 500. I think I'll clamp it. There we go. Back in its hole. Just clamp it. Some of the older viewers will remember the clampets. TV show in the 60s. I can't just quite mind what's called at the moment. They were hillbillies that struck oil and moved to Beverly Hills. Right, try that again. I think it's cutting. I'm pretty sure it's cutting. Keep putting oil on. See the teeth. It wasn't too bad price wise. You could get cheaper ones, but I think they were about 13 quid. This was 18, I think. Next day delivery as well. way through there. Slowly. We're limited to the power of the motor. Just cutting. The blooming bumblebees back in here. It comes in under the door and then can't get out. Halfway through. Just tune its way through. pretty far through there, that's 12mm plate. That's a bit hard on there, isn't it? Pretty good cutter, and Starrett stuff's usually pretty good, like. I don't know if some of it's made in China now, but there's going to be big problems with stuff made in China because they've started shutting everything down due to COVID again. And there's no transport systems in some places. There's a girl on talking about it on the radio, and she said you get an app on your phone and it's got to go green before you're allowed to move, but then there's no flights or no trains, so it's really difficult to get around. There we go, nice half moon. That was 12mm plate, we maybe had a couple of mil cut already, but it's again. I'll do that one. I bet there's, I mean I could return that to where I got it from, but I'm not, I'm keeping it. But I bet there's folk that do that, saying, oh it's the wrong size or something. Come from a well-known store run by Jeff Bezos, who's sulking because he's not the richest person in the world now. Elon Musk's overtaken him a bit. But then he might be skint if he buys Twitter. Another thing I heard in the news was Bitcoin. Last Christmas, so what's that? What, May? 5 months ago, some Bitcoin with a name was trading for £97.90. It's now trading for 97p. So I hope you didn't hear any, because you'll be skint. That's your latest news update. Right. So what we'll have to do now is clean it up. And that was the drill running at 520 RPM or something. 510. So I think that was fast enough for what we were doing. We've got holes and stuff to bore, but let's see, has it done anything to the teeth in it? It's supposed to have odd teeth, it said. No. Oh, the teeth are looking good. A few bits of paint flecked off, but not much. In fact, I think there's even paint coming off on me. I bet if there's a Chinese version of that, it wouldn't have been nearly as good as that one. Right, so that's that done. I'll get all that cleaned up and I'll bring you back in a bit. 2, not going to do too much tonight. +7. We'll have to mark it all out and then cut it to size and bore various holes in it. We'll have to grind it apart and weld it as well, so I'll do that tomorrow. If I'm not doing something else I think I might be doing. Right, I'll just switch you off there just now and I'll away and tidy everything up. I've been doing a few bits off camera, basically because I was fighting with them. So I've made a plate here, and you saw the bit with the holes, so we cut out, but I had to put a bit back in because the hole was too big in the end. And that's the shaft. It's just in with 2 bolts so we could see that we turn, and it does. Turns on its bearings. So that's worked out quite well. Had to position one of those bottom hoses, I'm hoping. Yeah, this hose here was over the top, so it goes in there, but I'm hoping I can take it round underneath instead. I just found the spanner I dropped. You would think this was open, but everything's really tight. So what I did to start with is I made up this pin that would go through the big hole here, and I bolted it on just as a guide, so it shoved it on there and I held it in place till we've got everything positioned. And I've got 4 M10 bolts in now, so that's part of the structure, so that should be okay. I had to put the pump the other way around, so now the feeds are the wrong way around, so I have to do something with the hoses, because the inch feed that was at this side is now at that side. I'll come up with some bright idea. There is another feed on that side of the tank, but I don't know what size it is. If it was inch would be okay. I'll have a look later. I've taken out all the bad hoses, this one's still to come out, and then I'm going to order new ones. Quite a bit of money, unfortunately. How many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all the ones I didn't do in the first place. This little cheap digger I bought's nice and cheap now. Want my second drum of hydraulic oil as well. Anyway, so that's that. So next move is take the pump back out the road, so you can get this back on, and then I'll have to get hoses before we go any further, I think, unless we can reposition the tank with it coming out of this side rather than that side. All of these will go back where they were, that's no problem. So there you go, that's what I've been up to. So once I get the hoses, probably next weekend maybe, I'll get them by next weekend I would think. Usually pretty quick in doing them. Just depends how busy they are. And then we can spin it up. I might actually be able to spin it up because we've disconnected that spool valve. I might be able to spin it up with just that spool valve and have a circuit to see how it works. Just as a wee experiment sort of thing. I've got one of those that might do the job. Okay, that's all for now. I'll bring you back once we're got everything bolted. It's just a matter of bolting stuff back on now and changing hoses, so I can bring you back once we've done that and we'll see if it works or not. That's me got the oil pump bolted in and the drive shaft, all the bolts in for it. But our next problem is the pump's now the other way around, so the fittings are the wrong way around. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting these, leave these alone. I'll put new ones on the other side, and that tank, turn the tank through 180 degrees, and that'll work. That should work. And then we can reuse this fitting, 3/4 hydraulic fitting, and the other one will go in there. The return will go in here, and that'll come up here and go up in there. So I'm waiting to see if I can bend some steel in that, and I'll bring you back and forth as I go. What the big thing I'm worried about is if the pump doesn't seal, I've got to dig it out of there. Oh, won't that be fun? So, it's a buried. I managed to get this hose that was giving us all the trouble in a different place. It's a lot flatter now. Don't know what happened, it might rub back and forth, I like to keep my eye on it. So this is, there's a 3/4 at the far side which you couldn't see, and this is a 1/2 inch that feeds up to here, but I've got a fairly long hose for that, so I think that'll be a problem. That's it there. And then there's this hose here, joins the two of them together, but I've toyed with the idea of getting a couple of these couplings in T-pieces, and then I can plug the press into this rather than the tractor. Mind you, if I saw the tractor hydraulics, it would probably be okay, but the hydraulic pumping that will be more powerful than the one in the tractor. So we'll see. Usual 5-minute job, take about 3 weeks maybe. So our next task is go and replicate these on the other side. I've got a bit slightly narrower stuff here, but it should be okay. I'll maybe use that. It just sits on, and then there's the two bolts just hold it in place. So that's why I wasn't going to bother taking these off in case it needs to turn round. We'll make it a universal thing. I'm going to try and replicate that holes in the same place though. Alright, I'll bring you back when I'm doing something. It'll just be grinding and welding and stuff, but I don't even know if I'm doing it today. You don't know anybody's business here. So that's the big prop shaft we started with. And that's the Toyo B, as it says in Glasgow, prop shaft we ended up with. But it's turning fine. The CV joints are constant velocity joints, seem to be working great. The only thing is it's not fluid in it, so I could have spun it up with the tractor, but I'll just wait. Well, I made a couple of brackets, and now I've got brackets on both sides, so that's how I'm welded on. I didn't want to weld too hard in case we burnt through the tank, because I don't know how thin it is or thick it is. So it was that to the back. Coming this way, it'll be able to spin it around now. My pipes will be at the right side now. Hopefully they're long enough as well. Find out soon enough. Just an old pressure vessel holder off a Worcester boiler it is. When they brought out the later model pressure vessel, you had to take them out, so they were just scrap, but it's been handy now and again. Right, I'll bring you back. have a problem. The pump's no longer pumping. I did wonder if it would need a new pump. Put the oil in. Turned it upside down, so it might be airlocked. Yeah, there's some run out there, but that's just what was pouring in the top. But there's nothing coming out of this hose for the pump. This one. So, maybe the pump's airlocked, but I don't think so. I might have to prime it and try it again.